Welcome to the Friday edition of Juan's World, and today I'm going to go a little bit sideways from my videos on the streets of Phnom Penh to include pagodas, partly because pagodas are in some sense an extension of the streets of Phnom Penh, as in the fact that some people drive through them using them as roads to get to where they're going by shortcut, and also because people walk in and around them as they would on the streets. But we're now in the period known as Pchum Ben in Cambodia, which to some extent is uniquely Cambodian, and it has values that relate to other festivals elsewhere. The lunar month of Pchum Ben is known as Pchum, and it's the 10th lunar month of the year, and it begins with a full moon. The full moon this year was September 29th, so that's the beginning of the month, and you count 15 days, and they are the 15 days of Pchum Ben, but the biggest days are the last three, which will actually be the 13th, 14th, and 16th this year, because the 15th is a Sunday, and it's also Father's Day here. So they juggle things around a little bit. But anyway, the first 15 days are all considered to be holy days. And right from the start, people start going to pagodas. So the images I'm going to show you today are going to be from the Sunday, that is October 1st, which is the second day of Pchum Ben. So let's get started with that. So I got myself properly dressed and walked to Pchum Pagoda, which is the closest pagoda to where I live. At the outset, just thinking that it wouldn't be very busy, well, I was completely mistaken about that. But as I walked along, I came across this shop, which sells a lot of artificial flowers and whatnot. And look, it's Christmas already. I mean, they don't celebrate Christmas here, but they certainly get a start on it well ahead of UK and the US. So now we turn a corner, and there's lots and lots of shops, both on the corner and towards the pagoda, that are selling things that are appropriate for gifts to be given in the pagoda. Certainly on the corner there was a flower shop selling lotus blossoms, closed lotus blossoms. But then further down here we've got these decorated coconuts. You can't see that they're coconuts because they're wrapped in gold and other paper. But that's what they are. And also along this street, there are just oddities that I don't really understand. There are a couple of places that sell just like household goods, like mops and brooms and buckets and washing tubs and things like that. I'm not entirely sure why any of those things matter here, or whether people specifically come here to this street for that purpose. I don't really understand. That's something I'm going to have to talk to my students about. But this street, certainly on an average day, not a festival day, on an average day, you'll have people coming through for one reason or other, and stopping at the shops now and again. and probably the ones with the housewares more than the ones with the decorative items or gift items on a regular day. But now that we're in the festive season, then it's more likely that they're going to be getting odds and ends of tokens as gifts. So we're approaching the entrance to the pagoda, and you'll see framed in the entrance when we finally get there a statue of Princess Rom Sai Sok. And I'm going to have a lot more to say about her in a different video, but I want to just get you started with her so that you see her, because you see her statue or image in every pagoda in Phnom Penh. Now notice people are arriving and they're all dressed not identically but close to it, in that both men and women wear a white shirt or a blouse, and then the men will wear dark trousers, and the women may wear a dark skirt or they may wear a patterned skirt, but everyone's pretty much dressed the same way, except of course the guy on the motorbike there who isn't. But he's not coming to the pagoda in the way that these other people are. The ones that are dressed with white over black are coming to present gifts to the monks, and the most important gift is food. And you'll see many people carrying cylinders that are filled with rice and other delectables, and they come in the morning because they're presenting the food to monks. Monks are not allowed to eat after 11 o'clock in the morning. So they're actually presenting the food to the monks, who are mediators between the people giving the food and their dead ancestors. That is, the monks will eat the food, but they'll eat it in lieu of the ancestors who will gain the experience. I'm just coming up to an area that is relatively new in this pagoda. As I've mentioned in other albums and videos before, the Pol Pot era was devastating for pagodas. They were all destroyed, and this one is slowly being rebuilt. When you think about how it's taken now maybe 30, 40 years to get back to its original state. So you can see it's fairly crowded, and you can also see there's a lot of food vendors and drink vendors and so forth. Now we're coming up to a place where the monks are sitting, and people are entering. We'll just turn here. See, yeah, the people are entering in order to give their gifts of food to the monks, and outside is mountains and mountains of incense, and it fills the air. Now we're coming up to an area where people often take pictures, and then here to the left is a boat. And now the boat is filled with little hillocks of sand, and as far as I know, these hills of sand, and we'll see another one in a minute, these hills of sand are somehow related to the Buddha, but there's no clear historical record of how. But you'll see here that these hills, and in a later video I'll show you a similar example. They're surrounded by bowls, metal bowls, in which people place money. And then this woman is also having her picture taken at the same time. And now we're going to move across here. We'll see this is the place where people have their pictures taken. You see this, got a woman carrying a baby and having her picture taken. And then we'll move over here, where there are two things. There's a golden statue of a Buddha, and we'll come back to that in a minute. And we've also got another picture station over here where people are taking photos, and then here is the main sand hill, where also surrounded by metal bowls that people put money in. Okay, now you can see that this woman is bathing the Buddha with perfumed water. And so now we're going to go down a little way to an interesting side event. Like, you don't see too many people going down this way, but I did happen to notice some people venturing, because there are two things in this direction. One of them is that there is another enclave of monks giving special blessings. And then there is also a lotus pond, and although there's no lotus in it right now, but it's a water feature. Every pagoda at some point it has a water feature. Interesting at this time of year, if you look out, see, this is the monsoon season, the rainy season, or the end of the rainy season, and you can tell it's been raining every day for the past 2 or 3 months. All right, so we're going to walk on down in this direction, and on the right-hand side is a small area, kind of like a cage almost, not sure why. And in it are monks who are offering special blessings to people who want to come and receive them. And then here's the water feature. And the thing about this water feature that is compelling to me is that I came here last year for Pchum Ben, and I noticed, and I don't think I've taken enough video for you to be able to see carefully, but there are fish in here, big fish, koi. And some of these people who were sitting here last year had bread, which they gave me. They said, throw it in the water, and I did. And of course, the fish came up to grab it. And it was just a delightful, social time with people who wouldn't normally give me the time of day, or who would, just showing me respect by not speaking to me at all. All right, so now I'm about to leave, and I just want to show you the statue of Romsai Sok. I'll talk much more about her later, but I did notice that at this time the fountains around her were on. Fountains are not normally on. The crocodile is another thing that I'll talk about in another video, as well as her long hair. But just want to show you the fountains, because they're really quite delightful when it's really hot weather, and just makes it cooling and pleasant. And so you can see that this is a good place for people to stop and have their photographs taken. And meanwhile, I'll also ask you if you'll please tell your friends about my videos. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you again on Tuesday. Not sure what I'm going to do. Probably won't be a recipe. Maybe more streets, because I've taken a lot more videos, including a lot more of Pchum Ben. So that might be more about pagodas, might be more about street sellers, don't know. Have a good weekend.